Okay. Why is it not saying recording? It is recording. Okay, good. Hello, everybody. As you know, my name is Don Self, and I appreciate you being here with me today. Today, I am really honored to have a friend of mine here, Andy Shumway, who is a president of Dash. And you sit there and say, now, what's Dash? It sounds kind of a funny name. Well, they basically, for the last 45 years, have been creating software for collections, and they really got an amazing product. I met Andy. So Andy, let me first say thank you for joining me. Hello, Andy.
Happy to be here.
I appreciate you, buddy. Andy and I met at the American Medical Billers Association convention in Las Vegas. We were sitting side by side we both had tables there as we were teaching and stuff like that. And it was a great meeting that I had. And I really wish I'd met him years ago. I really do. And his staff as well, because he's got some really good people there that worked with him. I really enjoyed that fellow. What was that guy's name that was with you?
Matt.
Matt. Yeah, Matt had such a great personality. And man, he was quick to laugh at everything. I absolutely love Matt. Okay. And I apologize, I forgot his name, but I just got out of surgery, so my brain's not working great right now. But anyway, they've got a really neat product that I think can help a lot of my clients. And I'm not doing this honestly so that I can make some kind of commissions, et cetera, from Andy and them. I'm doing it because my clients need it. Basically, what they have, well, better yet than Andy, would you do me a favor and explain your product for me?
Yeah. Uh, we help you with soft collections. We help, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but we collect overdue and even accounts that aren't overdue. We collect balances for you. We help to automate it, to take stress off of your staff. A lot of it is done through electronic communication, sending text messages and emails so that your patients can self-serve. They click on a link, they go to a portal, and they can set up payment plans or pay in full, and everything is just automatically routed through to you. So that's the high level of what it does. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but really we're trying to take stress off of you, off of your staff, and help you collect.
Yeah, because I mean, people working in doctors' offices, they hate making phone calls to patients. Providers are spending, I don't know, $7 or $8 or $9 per patient per statement per month. It's not doing any good. And it seems like more and more patients want to do things by text and by email and electronic measures. Now, one question is people are going to ask is, you're not a collection agency, are you?
Yeah, great question. No, we're not. So we're not a collection agency, and we do things a little bit different. Collections has typically been done through third party. So you take the accounts that are overdue and you pass the ownership of them to another business that then collects on them, and they take a commission and send it back to you. We do not do that. So we have no humans that are working collections. In fact, we're more of a tool to help you collect. So when you collect, you're collecting in your name. You've got your logo. You've got flexibility about what is said, how often it's said, when messages are delivered. You control all the tone, the content, and it's a way to do maybe a little bit more soft collections to be able to collect on your overdue debt.
I like that term, soft collections. And it seems to me that, especially with the recent rulings towards what do you call it, credit agencies out there, credit reporting agencies out there, that more and more patients are hearing, well, you don't have to worry about paying your medical debts because those won't go on they won't go on your credit record. So you want to make sure you pay your car payments, your house payments, stuff like that, credit card payments, because those go on your credit record. They'll hurt you, but the medical ones won't hurt you. But that's not exactly true, is it?
It's not, and that's just been a frustrating development over the last few years. The actual there wasn't any legislation around it, but what happened is um, the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, was able to go to the three credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and convince them that overdue medical debt was not a good indicator of credit worthiness. And so in 2023, all three of the credit bureaus unanimously decided that they would not accept any credit reporting on medical debt with balances less than $500. Over $500, still okay to credit report on. Under $500, they won't even take it. And
Okay.
that's been since 2023. Um, there's just a small caveat in there too. There have been some states that have put a full ban on credit reporting. So you can't credit report even on balances over $500. There's about 15 of them. I'll mention them quick. In the West, California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington. In the East, Connecticut, Maine, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Vermont, Delaware, Maine, or Maryland, and Virginia. And in the Midwest, Illinois and Minnesota. So all of those states, you can't report on anything.
Every
uh,
one of them have the one thing in common. Every one of them are red states. I mean, they're all Democrats, ruled states. And why would they do that? I don't get the understanding behind that.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's frustrating. I think a lot of the purpose behind it was that they were trying to gain favor with consumers and be consumer friendly. But in the process of that, they've created a scenario where legitimate businesses can't get paid for work that they do, and it's unfortunate.
And then they end up having to pass that cost back along to the consumer because they couldn't get the collections. And so it's kind of like that raising minimum wage crap. Okay, so with you guys are not a collection agency, where a collection agency is typically charging like 40 and 50%. Do doctors have to pay you up front? Do they have to pay you a high percentage? What kind of a deal do the doctors have to do with you?
Yeah, great question. The most collection agencies charge somewhere between 20, you can maybe see rates as low as 20%, 50% in commission. And how they typically work is you send accounts to them. You don't pay anything up front. And then when they collect, they deduct their commission from it. So if they have a 50% commission rate, they deduct it and then they send you the balance. Our offering is much different than that. Again, you don't have to pay up front. And we charge just a fraction of what it is that we collect for you. In fact, we've got a promotion right now. If anyone's interested in contact us, tell us that Don Self sent them. We'll help you out for 10%. So a 10% commission compared to 20 to 50% commission is a pretty substantial savings. We want to provide a way for you to keep as much of your earned money as you can. So you'd be keeping 90%.
Wow, okay. And from what I understand, is collection agencies, the older the bill is, I mean, if it's 90 days, it's 120 days, if it's 160 days, et cetera, then the collection agencies charge more because they got a lot more work to do and it's less chance for them to collect. But you guys are a flat rate
Flat rate.
percentage no matter what,
Yep.
right?
No matter what. That's right. Yeah, the collection agency rate, by the way, if you use a third party collection agency, they it's not always the best idea to go with the one with the lowest commission.
No.
Uh, but you're right. They do change. The rates change based on a variety of things. How old the debt is one of them. So if the debt is 2 to 3 years old, they may charge a higher commission on it. If it's unsecured debt, which medical debt is, they'll usually charge a higher commission on it. If it's small balances, they'll usually charge a higher commission. And if there's any type of legal or litigation, those are things that will raise or typically raise the rate for commission percentages. And by the way, let me just put a plug in there too. We handle soft collections uh, as we described earlier. In addition to that, we've got a robust network of third-party collection agencies. We've got hundreds of third-party collection agencies that use our software in other capacities. So if you are interested in using a third-party collection agency, it's absolutely possible to place with us for the first-party collections, and then we can help you match you up with a third-party collection agency on the other side to escalate it to. You don't have to do that. A lot of medical offices don't want to, and that's okay. But we've got that option.
I've run into doctors before that, well, they believe certain things and they've always believed them. Like if I bill a level five, I'm going to automatically get audited, which is not true. Or if I send somebody to collections, then that's going to raise the opportunity for them to sue me for malpractice or something. Uh, is there any kind of true basis behind that, in your opinion?
Not it, no. And we do see. increasingly more medical offices that aren't comfortable sending their patients to third-party collections. There's a lot of reasons for that. The relationship is important. It's usually a recurring, the patient is coming back. A lot of medical offices are located themselves in the community and they know their patients. And it can be stressful for both the patient and the office when you've got accounts that are in collections. And so there's been a decline in that. And again, that's created a big need for soft collections or the first party collections that we provide as a way to help collect without putting the stress or the strain on the relationship between the medical office and the patient.
Well, do me a favor and explain a little bit more about what you mean by soft collections. Are you having computers call the patients, or what exactly do you mean by soft collections?
Yeah. Soft collections, how we define it is that it's done in the name of the medical office. So when you go to third-party collections, you'll have ABC collections that will need to contact the patient and identify themselves. For soft collections, we're just a tool. We're not a collection agency. So it's just a tool that your medical office uses. So if you're a family practice, your logo goes out on the text messages, it goes out on the emails. We've got the ability to leave automated voice messages too, but it's all in the name of the medical office, and you have 100% control over what is said. So we have a library of templates that we include um, that have been effective in collecting. You can use those right out of the box, or you can modify them. We typically have medical offices that start out a little bit softer in tone. And then one thing that we provide is that you can set up campaigns, and they're super easy to do. You can do it in about a half hour. You can set up a series of texts and emails that are sent out again, in your name with the exact verbiage that you want to say. And what happens when we bring accounts into Dash is that they're automatically sent. You don't have to push a button. You don't have to have somebody managing it. It just happens automatically. Those texts, those emails go out. There's a link on there for your patients to self-serve. And you just have money coming in and deposited in your account. So one of the big things that we stress is tone, timing, and mode. Like you've got full control over that in soft collections. Another thing in soft collections is that the focus is more on helping the patient. It's not as much about trying to beat them up or trying to harass them or trying to manipulate them in any way, but trying to help them, trying to offer different options for being able to come current. Most patients do want to pay their obligations. So the first thing we're trying to do is to make them aware of it. And the second thing is to provide options for them to be able to self-serve and pay off their owed balance.
I was just thinking, just as you were saying that, that it's possible that one of my own clients might, I mean, one of my own doctors might be using your service because occasionally I'll get, like whenever I had seen my cardiologist last year and I had not met my deductible, and I saw her on January 3rd. And then I started getting these notifications via my cell phone and saying you can click right here to pay your deductible because I'm on Medicare. And I just went ahead and did it right there, and it was so easy. Um, and I didn't even think about it being an outside service. I just thought it was part of the Cardiovascular Associates service. And that may be exactly what your clients' patients are seeing because they don't know that you're even involved. A dash is not showing up. It's just they see their doctor's name. Is that right?
That's exactly right. It's
Oh, I
exactly
love
how it
that.
works.
That's cool. That is so cool. I love the way that you guys did it. And y'all been doing this 45 years now.
We have. That's right.
I love that. Now, let's say that exactly like that right there. Let's say that I owe a balance and I get a text and I didn't respond on that text to pay that. Would I also get an email? Because it seems like every one of my doctor's offices is getting my email address. So,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's easier on a computer than on these phones. I have trouble pushing the buttons on the phones. So,
Yes. Yeah. So, and that is, well, it's up to you. So in our campaigns, you can send out a combination of texts, emails, and automated voice messages. And you determine the timing on when they go out too. We found it's been particularly helpful to reference each. So in a text message to mention, we also sent you an email for convenience, and you can say the exact same thing in an email. We sent you a text message for convenience. That also helps with um, uh, reliability um, and legitimacy. Also, again, being able to see your logo that comes out in the text message in the email, that helps. That's something they're familiar with. They know that, and more than likely, they're expecting this communication from you.
And when you say automated phone calls, this isn't somebody from Pakistan calling, "Hello, my name is Bob. I need you to pay me." Nothing like that right there. Is this a computer voice or what does it sound like?
Yeah, that we've got, there's probably about 25 different voices that you can use. You type out what you want to be said, and it sounds very conversational. It's not an AI bot. It's not a computer that's having a conversation with a consumer. It's just delivering a message.
Okay.
And so that they will read out exactly what you type. If you say, hi, this is family medical practice. You have a balance due. We've sent you a text and an email for your convenience. If you have any questions, give us a call at this number.
Neat. Okay. I like that. Now, what about the staff in the doctor's office? Because it seemed like I was just talking to a practice yesterday afternoon who said, we want to add more patients on into our OPM and CCM, but we can't, we don't have room for another employee in here. What does this do as far as employee time freeing that up? I mean, how does that all work? Do they have to go through a lot to get set up?
Yeah, great question. We've designed it so that this is easy to get in, up and running and operational, and it's also easy to maintain. The whole purpose behind Dash is to be able to take stress and strain off of your office staff so they don't have to make as many outbound calls. Our hope is that if we can get some good outbound messaging going out electronically, which is what patients want overwhelmingly, that you're going to reduce the amount of outbound calls that you have to make. You may have more inbound calls for questions, um, but it should substantially reduce the overhead and the load that you've got in the office. Um, for 2025, MGMA they recommend somewhere between zero point 0.8 and 1 FTE for a staff member per each FTE physician. And our goal is to be able to maybe reduce that a little bit so that your staff members can get more done because we're automating a lot of the collection outreach efforts.
I like that right there. Now, let's say I have a patient that owes me $75. I'm a orthopedic office, like I was just at yesterday or day for yesterday, and they owe me $75, and we've got the system going, and it sent them a text, and then the family member reaches out to me and says, "Hey, mom died this last week right here. She's no longer around. How difficult would it be for me to log in to take that patient off the record, off the system?"
Very easy, simple and easy.
So it's not just log in. It's kind of like they're
Just
doing
log
right now in
in.
their EMR stuff and do whatever they
Yep.
need to and take that patient out or add
In
patients.
fact, we're built to connect with any EHR, EMR practice management, and can easily set up. If you change a status in your EMR, you can in real time be able to change the status in Dash.
Oh, cool.
Uh, One question you asked earlier, how long does it take to get up and running? We've had we've had customers that have been up and running same day.
Whoa.
And so we've the implementation, the actual time that we spend it's usually around an hour that it takes. And in that hour, we help you. We're sitting down to help you construct those text and email templates. Again, we've got a whole bunch of templates that we default with that we can usually start from. But they're really easy to put together. We'll help you organize everything, and in about an hour, you can be up and running.
Let's say for whatever reason, let's say the practice is going along using you and then they decide to sell out to the hospital or whatever. Because again, hospitals are buying clinics. What's your exit policy as far as how do they get out of the contract? How long is the contract with you?
That's another thing we've focused on. Not only do we try to make it easy to get in, we make it easy to get out. Our service is month to month. We don't have long-term contracts. If it's not working for you, we have no interest in holding you hostage. So very easy to get out. Send us an email, no problem.
One of the things, Andy, since I started talking to you at that convention that really sunk in with me was that, um, I live by Matthew 7:12. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And everything I've heard from you seems to reflect that you have the same philosophy at your company as I have at both of mine. The same thing.
You know, we use a lot of software, and I've been around software for a long time, and we did very intentionally create this as something that we would want to purchase and buy. We tried to make it fair in how we price it and even attractive. And on the other side, like I've been in contracts where the software, for whatever reason, hasn't been as valuable anymore, and it's frustrating when you're in that scenario, when you're caught in a contract. So we do want to treat our customers the same way we want to be treated. I think that's accurate, Don.
Yeah, I mean, I could almost see Matthew 7:12 over on a plaque over there behind you right now, buddy. Like I said, that's important to me right there. How we treat each other, that's all so important right here. And also another thing is, I think so that folks aren't sitting there thinking, well, this is only for past due stuff. If a patient doesn't pay their balance today and they say, okay, well, let me handle the insurance first. After the insurance pays, then I'll pay my balance. I'm not sure how much my insurance is going to pay. And sometimes the office isn't sure exactly how much, especially the first of the year. And this is January, what, January 8th. And we don't know if they've met their deductible. We're not sure what their deductible is this year, et cetera, or if they changed the insurances, et cetera. So the moment the patient walks out the door, after the insurance pays, it can automatically activate, or they can go ahead and just at that point before it ever gets late. Is that right?
That's exactly right. It couldn't even go earlier than that. Like if you're doing some research and investigation into what their insurance will cover, as soon as you know that and you know that they're going to have a balance, you can start this process.
And let's say the patient looks at their balance and says, wow, I owe $130. Can they somehow say, okay, well, I'm going to pay $35 a month until it's paid off, and you guys automatically agree to that thing or whatever? How does that work?
Yeah, that's offered automatically through that self-service portal they have. So when they get a text and email, they've got a link they click on, takes them straight into their account. And in their account, they've got options to either pay it in full or pay over time. And they've got flexibility over when the payments happen, how much they are, when do they recur. All of that is taken care of for you by Dash. You don't have to do anything. So there's some legal pieces that need to be in place in order to transact over the web. We take care of all of that for you. All the language is handled to keep you compliant. Um, and then we've got a fairly robust system on the back end where um, we store and tokenize credit cards, and it's in a secure facility. It's a PCI compliant facility. So if they set up a payment plan on the third of each month, we automatically run the credit card that they provided that we've got stored in a secure location to charge it for you. You see it in your account. So you don't have to do a thing. They set it up, they set up the payment plan, and it just happens.
Okay. And as far as the patient's paying, it seems like lately I've been I have somebody come do some work for me, and I sit there and say, "Okay, how do you want me to pay you?" And they say, "Can you Venmo me, or can you Cash App me, or something else?" So I handle things that way. What all methods do the patients have as an opportunity to pay with?
Yeah, we accept all the major credit cards, and since it's on a web browser, it's also natively integrated. We can see 80% of the people who self-serve do it on their phone. And
Okay.
on both Android and Apple, they both have functionality to save payment methods, which interact very nicely with the with all the payment details that you have on the screen within our application. So they have every major credit card they can use from there. They can also use ACH, and in their phones and payment methods that they have stored on their phones can also be engaged.
Well, that's cool. Now, how do you guys get paid then? If this money is automatically going into the doctor's account, or does it come to you and then y'all give it to the doctor? Where does the money go?
Yeah, we don't hold any of your money. It's deposited immediately in your account, in the account that you specify. We do have a card on file that we charge once a month. So we'll send you an invoice 2 weeks in advance, letting you know who's paid, and what your charges are on that. And then we charge your card, whatever card you provide on file for us. But the funds that are collected from these collection efforts are automatically deposited directly in your account.
Okay, so like today is January 8th. You're going to send some kind of report to the doctor, or the doctor could log in, or their office manager could log in and see how did we do in December? How much money did we collect through Dash? And how much do we owe Dash? Or do you send a statement like on the 8th or 9th, and then you bill them on the ACA, I mean, the credit card on what date? How much time
Yep.
frame is there?
Yeah, both of those are correct. So you can log into Dash. It's got some nice reports, some good dashboards, so you can see how your collections are performing at any time. And you can see how much you'll be billed. But we do send an email. We can send it to multiple people if you want, 2 weeks in advance of your invoice from us. So we send you an invoice saying this is how much you owe us on this date. 2 weeks later, you're going to be charged this amount. So you've got a heads up for it.
I totally get that. That's the way we kind of do with my RPM CCM company, in that we send a report at the beginning of the month, and at the end of that month, we do a debit on the client. So that's so cool. Uh, is there anything else that you think that my clients and the listeners of this thing right here might need to know that I haven't asked about?
We maybe one thing that might be good to cover, Don, is that we know, and this comes from a lot of different sources, that patients want to self-serve. They prefer digital methods of communication, and they prefer options to self-serve, like to the tune of 85%.
Wow.
Um, However, and this is current as of last year, roughly 70% of medical offices still do primarily paper statements and manual outreach. So there's a little bit of uh, a discrepancy there.
Yeah.
And we help with that.
80% of the patients want to do things electronically, and 70% of medical offices are still doing paper.
That's right.
Seems to me like whenever a patient checks in and fill out a new patient information form, it can put on there. I've seen places do that with me. Do you prefer to be billed electronically or on via USPS? And I always check electronically because my wife and I travel so much. Wherever we're at, I'm able to get the notification.
That's
Now,
right.
another question I had, it seems like with the past administration and the economy being what it was and the inflation being what it was, thank God it's coming down so much right now. Uh, is is medical debt higher today than it used to be?
Yeah. Huh, that's a sad, it's kind of it's a good question and a sad one. It's at a 10-year high right now. So if you felt like your overdue account bucket is increasing, you're not alone. In fact, 2 years ago, about 18% of households had overdue medical debt. In 2025, it's gone up to 28%. So almost one in three. One in three households have overdue medical debt right now. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's some medication or Medicaid changes. There have been changes with insurance that have moved to more high deductible healthcare plans. Cost of living's gone up. The credit reporting, like there's a lot of reasons why that's happened. But it's unfortunate that there's been a rise in medical debt.
I've got to say, maybe I'm wrong because I keep thinking that maybe the fact that patients here, well, I don't have to worry about paying that bill because it's not going to matter. That credit reporting probably has a bigger impact in it than I think some people realize. So, well, buddy, I really hope that folks utilize your service and try it. I mean, for that 10%, I mean, it seems to me like they're spending more than that right now just on statements. And on, I mean, you figure you send a patient three statements, you spent $21, and if they only owe $100, well, you've already spent 21% to try to collect that. You're chasing bad money after good money where they don't pay you unless you collect it. So it just seems like it makes sense to me. That's why one of the things I was so excited about after you and I had a chance to visit there in Las Vegas at that convention. Is,
Yeah.
uh, and so how do we reach out to you? I know I'm going to have a link right here on this, but how do people, if they wanted watching this to reach out to you, what's the best way?
Yeah, great question. Payondash.com is our URL. So if you go to there, there's a link where you can connect with us and set up a demo. Again, we can sign you up same day if you're interested. And again, if you tell them it's important, tell them Don Self sent you, and we'll get you in at a discounted rate of 10%. Um, and I'll send you, yeah, a link so that you've got it and you can post it and make it referenceable, Don.
Well, you got it, buddy. I appreciate you taking this time with me, Andy, because I really think that you're going to be a help to a lot of my clients. I have one of two people out there in the country that listen to me, and I hope that they're listening to this and see how much that this right here could help. And again, if they try it and it's not working, okay, they gave it a shot. But I really believe that this is going to work, and they've got really nothing to lose by trying. So, buddy, I appreciate you a lot. I'm looking forward to next time we get a chance to sit down and have a cup of coffee together. I'm not sure when that'll be. You're up in Utah, northern Utah. I'm down here in
Yeah,
Texas, but I know we're planning on heading back out this year after I get these knees and foot taken care of. We want to get back in that OLV and start traveling that way again because I really did enjoy coming up that way. It was so beautiful up that way. Now, you're just located just north of Salt Lake City, is that right?
that's right. Yep, we're in northern Utah, north of Salt Lake. This is January, so we got snow on the ground here.
That's something we don't have down here in East Texas until around February usually. And then it snows one day and the next day it's 80 degrees. So it doesn't last long down here. But buddy, thank you again. I appreciate it. Folks, check out again payondash.com. Give them my name and they'll give you that discount right there. I really think it'll benefit you and I think your patients would like it. You know. Thanks again, Andy. Have a blessed day, buddy.
Thank you, Dom.
Okay. And stop recording.